Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of OverVoice Season 3. Today I'm joined by the wonderful Dakota Farnsworth. Dakota, would you like
Hey.
to hello? Would you like to introduce yourself, Dakota?
Hi, my name's Dakota Farnsworth. I'm a voice actor, former photographer, former psychology student, vocal director. You've probably heard me in the production project Eden's Garden. That's the thing I'm known most for. I play Kai Montiago. I'm in the upcoming Sly Cooper animation, Sly Cooper Rise of the Legendary Thief. I was in Siren Head South Point, made by Undream Panic as the hunter. Um, and off the top of my head, that's probably the best things that I'm known for. So yeah,
Hell
no.
yeah.
So hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. We've actually been in a class together before and interacted before, so I've known Dakota for a little bit.
I
But
meant to the audience when I said nice to meet you, and I was like, oh shit,
oh shit. See, fuck.
yeah,
Damn it.
yeah, damn it.
It's
Oh,
a
I gotta
well
restart.
no, it's all right. The audience gets some extra lore between us. It's okay.
That's so
Um
true. Yeah.
exactly. But my first question to you, Dakota, is a question I ask every voice actor. But how did you begin your voice acting journey? And yeah, what kind of led you down that path?
Okay, so long story. So it started back in high school. I did theater for a while. My best friend, who I call my brother, he was doing the was a play of Cinderella at our school. Our school is pretty well known for its theater productions, because our director was on the Beauty and the Beast Broadway show.
Ooh.
Like back in her days, and so then she started working for the school and she started teaching us, and was I was really like, acting ain't my thing, like whatever, not my deal. And so my brother was trying to get me out of my shell and trying to get me to do more things. And so he goes, and actually I've never said this story on an interview before. He what is he tried getting me out of my shell. He was like, listen, man, I just got one of the leads, but here's the thing, I'm gonna reject it unless you do it too. And I was like, oh, you're a dick. So I was like, son of a bitch, he got me. So I ended up joining the play, had the best season of my life. It was so fun. Got to meet so many cool people, got to work and collaborate on a level I've never done before. I didn't think acting was something I was passionate about until I did that, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so fun. So then we ended up doing it again the next year, and the director really, really, really liked me, and she ended up picking Oliver Twist as the next show, and
Oh
she
hell yeah.
ended up casting me as Fagin. And I had such a blast playing Fagin. I wanted to make sure I had that character down flat, so I actually got a cane because he walks around, he's
Yeah.
crippled. So I literally went around school walking around with a cane every day, like just so I could simulate what it was like walking with a cane. Like I was getting so into it. So did that. I got an award for that. I then went on to do Bye Bye Birdie right after that.
Oh
Uh,
yo, hell yeah.
yeah, dude, it's such a good play. It's such a good play. Bye Bye Birdie was awesome. I got another award for that too. I absolutely killed it. That was one of my proudest works.
Hell yeah.
Um, what is it? I then went on to college, and when I was going to college, I kind of thought to myself, I'm into photography and I'm into acting. Acting, at least at the time, didn't really seem like a reliable route. Like it seemed like something I could do on the side, but like getting a degree for it didn't seem like something that made sense, at least at the time. So I started going for photography, and I did that for about a semester. The thing that got me to stop was I was we were in a history of photography class, and our professor, on the last day that we could bounce out of the class, get a refund and do all that, he goes, all right guys, I'll tell you what, I need you to know, photography, it's a starving artist career. I'm not going to let you pay money for this course not knowing the reality of the situation. And so he pulls up a projector screen, puts on 5 photos, yeah, 5 photos, and he goes, first one, he goes, hey, looks really beautiful, right? Like this, like it's like a nice landscape image. And we're like, yeah, it looks great. And then another one is a picture of like a bee or something like that. And he's like, go, looks really beautiful, right? We're like, yeah. And he's like, Okay, then he does that for like three more images. And he goes, all right, one of these images is a real photo. All of the others are made in Blender. And we're like, what? So the entire class was a pop quiz, and it was, tell me which one's the real one. And so
Oh,
the entire class was us all trying to like deduce which one was the real one. Turns out they were all fake.
oh
And
wow.
so,
Your teacher
yeah, I
sounds
know,
also
right?
that sounds
Right?
like
So, well, sorry, go ahead.
your teacher sounds so fucking cool.
Yeah, he was honestly, I'm sure he was laughing at some point during that, but like it was a really good lesson for us because he goes, technology is getting to a point where you don't need to go outside your house to be a photographer anymore. Like you can be sitting in your room and just make landscapes on the computer. So if you're gonna do this, you need to be on your A game, or maybe you need to go and look for something else. So that's where I went, I really love photography as a hobby. I love, you know, I was very big on like walking around town and taking photos of things that no one was like paying attention to, like just something that you would walk by but looks astounding and pretty, and the colors are just all there, and everyone's just walking by it like it's some random thing. Like I always liked kind of bringing that into the light. But in terms of doing it as a career, it was never something that I felt passionate enough to stay on top of as a business move. So I was like, yeah, maybe I'll back off on this, keep it as a hobby. Um, so then I got so then I thought to myself, okay, so what's my major going to be now? Because I basically
Yeah.
just dropped out of photography. And so I was like, you know what I'll do? I'll do my basics, and then I'll like major in like theater, like do an arts degree, because I don't want to do something in arts. Theater's something that I already know I'm good at. Like, let's go for it. So I do my first semester in theater. I had a blast. It was great. I ended up meeting a lot of really cool people. There were three directors. One of them was named Bob Ellis, who was pretty big in on our campus. What is it? He was in The Last Summer. I don't know if you ever heard of that one.
Oh, sounds familiar.
He was, what is it, the guy who plays Archie in Riverdale? He was in that movie as well.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
he was he played the daddy, and he was in it for like a scene or two, but like he clearly had his merits.
Yeah.
Then another professor named Andrew Gurrell, he had been in the Lion King Broadway show, and
Yeah.
he had played he was the understudy for Zazu. And
Mm.
then I ended up also meeting Angela Bohm, who was the casting director for The Bye Bye Man, and then also
The Bye Bye
I
Man.
know. And then she also trained what is it? Back to Riverdale, Archie's best friend, the actress who plays Archie's best friend.
Mm.
Angela Bohm had trained her. And so I ended up getting to do a course with Angela Bohm and getting to learn, kind of
Oh,
pick her brain a
cool.
little bit, getting to know what she knew about the just the business side of the acting world. And so that was super fun. I ended up going through getting my Associate of Arts degree for theater. And then COVID hit.
Oh,
So
damn.
I was like, oh, so everyone's kind of like, I was working a restaurant. I was working a restaurant job at the time. And everyone's like, holy crap, like, what the hell is going on? And I'm like, I don't know. And in that time, I was like, I need to go get another job that has a little bit more pay to it. Like, I want to make sure, because this was before a bunch of the jobs were shutting down. Like,
Mm.
we were just at like the beginning of the social distancing era. So I went to go work for a fertilizer company because I don't know, personally, I just like doing things that felt like it made like I was doing something for the environment or something for the world.
Not fair enough.
Yeah. So it just like, I was like, oh, fertilizer company, like, cool, like like, yeah, like make the world greener, right? What is it, so I ended up going and working for them. Then like right in the middle of it, like right in the middle of me training, when the boss came up to me and said, hey, listen, um I hate to do this to you. We are at a point right now where even though we're training you, like, we're so sorry, but every single call that we get here, if it's not perfect, if we don't get that sale, if we don't get whatever, because it was a CSR position,
Mm.
if we don't get that sale, that could be like lights out for us. Like, it's nothing against you, but we're gonna have to let you go. We just can't hire a new person right now. So they were very, very nice about it. They were very,
Yeah.
very nice about it. It sucked at the time though, because I was like, oh shit, like I just left my other job. So got home, and then that's when the lockdown, like the full like lockdown happened, where a bunch of the businesses were shutting down. Um, And so I was in my room and I was kind of like, well, what the fuck do I do now? So one of my friends, Audrey O'Brien, reaches out to me and she tells me, hey, Dakota, I have an idea for you. And Audrey had been to all of my theater shows. She had been to literally every single performance I had done. Always been in my corner. She was such a huge supporter throughout high school. And she came up to me and said, "Hey, my aunt and uncle do voiceover. They do like commercials and such. I think you should really give it a shot. I know you have a really, really good grasp of acting, and I think that you would excel at this." And I was like, "Okay, where do I start?" And she said, I'm in a video game right now.
Oh,
I'll
okay.
talk to the director, and what is it? And then maybe I can just get like some of your clips of you doing like theater stuff and then throw it at them and then be like, hey, like maybe he can be an extra role, just see how he likes it. So ended up doing that. I got into the part. And it was super fun, met a lot of cool people with that. Unfortunately, the project itself did not end up working out.
Oh man.
Um, but in that time, it was really fun. And that's where I went, damn, like this is great. So I started looking more into it and I went, okay, I know at least from my days with Angela Bohm that there are a lot of obstacles in acting. There's a lot of fake agencies. There's a lot of the ability to be scammed in the acting world a lot. So I wanted to make sure that I got past as many of those obstacles as possible, and my bullshit detector was just peak, you know.
Not fair
So
enough.
I spent a year learning voiceover before I started. So I mean, I did like a couple of like odd jobs too. So I did machinima projects. Not like nothing crazy big, but it was very helpful in terms of like getting the practice in. And I was so lucky to work with a group called the Machinima Hub because they were very, very, very big on making sure that all of their scripts looked like professional like theater production scripts.
Oh, nice.
And I'm
That's
like,
good.
oh, this is great. Oh, this is great. So on top, I was already back into working on something that I had done before, which was theater and working on those types of scripts while also bringing it into a voiceover medium. It was like the perfect transition for me. And so I got the practice there. And then around September of 2021, I was reached out to by a girl named Keiko, and she also goes by MLA Entertainment. And she reached out to me and said, "Hey, been seeing you around. You have a really good voice." She said it was Bryce Papenbrook meets Johnny Young Bosch style voice, and I was like, "That is one hell of a compliment."
You know
Thank
what?
you.
Now that you say it, I do hear it. I do hear it now.
Oh, you hear it? Oh,
I hear.
hell yeah! Thank you. Um, so she was like, you have that kind of like style of voice of you. So I mean, do you want to learn ADR? And I was like, okay, all right, cool. So she ended up getting me onto like a little fan dub of Clannad. And I played Samoya, and she was teaching me how to match lip flaps, and she was teaching me how to go over that whole process. And so we finish it, and she goes, "I got to be real, Dakota. You need a demo." And I'm like, "Okay, okay. How would I go about that?" And she goes, "I produce demo reels. Here's a portfolio of my work. Here's all the things that I've done before. Let me know what you think, and we'll go from there." And I go, "Okay, great." And so I then looked into her portfolio. She had amazing reels and honestly kind of insane prices at the same time. Like I'm not kidding. Like the quality I was hearing for the demos versus how much she was paying for them. Like a lot of people look at my demo reel now and tell me that they think it was made in like a professional studio. I made it in my fucking closet. So I'm like, that holy crap, right? So I did that with her, and then when I made that demo reel, I kind of like thought to myself, like, you know what? This is like, I have this now. Like, it'd be a waste not to use it. It would be a waste to not start to put myself out there. So that was it. November 2021 was when it was made, and that was when the official day I considered myself a voice actor.
Oh, interesting. Oh yeah.
Mm. So yeah, long story, but here we are. And
That's
then
probably.
yeah, that was.
I
Sorry,
think
go
that
ahead.
I think so far that's like been like the longest answer to that question. So new record.
Oh shit, sorry.
No, don't apologize. That's amazing. The more detailed, the better. Honestly. because if you would ask me where how I started, like I wouldn't remember fuck all really. I would
Oh, really?
it'd
Oh,
be
shit.
it'd be bits and pieces, but you like remember the entire timeline, you know? So that's actually really
Yeah,
impressive.
no, it was I mean, it was incredible because it was just like I don't know. like it's definitely anytime that any like opportunity I have to grow and like develop myself, I always try to take that in stride. And like I do have a habit of writing them down and going, oh, I did this on this day, da, 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 da.
Oh,
And
that's
so
actually
maybe
really
that's why I
nice.
remember like most of the timeline. But it was definitely nice to it's definitely nice to look back on and go, damn, that was like 2.5 years ago. Um,
Oh wow, Lewis.
yeah, like we're here now, right? So like this, like I, yeah, it's been a crazy journey for sure. So yeah, no, I like
Yeah.
to think back on the beginning of a lot.
Yeah, I didn't know you started out from lockdown. I thought I you could have fooled me, you know. I thought you started out a bit
Oh,
earlier.
was it, I think Jonathan Bullock told me he was like, dude, I thought you've been doing this for like 6 years, and I was like, oh, thanks, man. Oh, thanks.
I mean,
Um,
almost. I mean, if you count 2020, I do count that as
yeah,
2020, you know. So that's almost 4 years, you know.
yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah, no, I personally and like I would consider the practice era of when I was a voice actor, but it feels a little dishonest because when I was learning photography, I wouldn't have considered myself a photographer, if that makes sense.
No, that
Like
makes sense.
I only considered it myself that when I was actually doing senior photos and doing and like actually getting paid for the work. So I was like,
Yeah.
I felt it was a little dishonest of me to say I was a voice actor at that time.
No, that's fair. When I started out, I ended up doing a lot of practice for like 3 years, and then I made my demo in the start of my fourth year. So also in 2021. So I guess in 2021,
Oh, sweet. Hey, what's
hell
up?
yeah. So what's up? So like
What month did you end up making it? Of 20?
but I actually made it in December of 2020, but it was all
Oh
done
shit.
by Jan. So
Okay, gotcha, gotcha.
and then from there, that's when I started doing more professional stuff. But I did do some paid stuff within those 3 years when I was practicing. But I think it was more consistent once the demo was out at the time.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think we technically started in the same year. So hell yeah, man.
Hey, welcome. What's up?
What's up? But yeah, speaking of projects and stuff you've been on, I actually went to one of your streaming events recently on
Mhm.
Streamily on Instagram. For is it Eden's Garden? Is that right?
Project Eden's Garden. Yep.
Project Eden's Garden. Yeah. So yeah, you said that was your first time signing, right? Like, what's
Yeah,
like that must be
yeah,
that's like a surreal experience right there, right?
for sure. I mean, what is it? Eden's Garden as a whole has been a surreal experience. So I actually did the audition for Eden's Garden a month after that demo reel I made.
Oh hell
And
yeah.
then a month after that is when I got cast for it, and then that's been kind of off to the races ever since. And we've gotten to work with some pretty incredible people. We got to work with Stan Pye on Newgrounds. He did the announcements for the award shows on Newgrounds. We started working with Lumi Sao, who works with a lot on the Undertale community. We got to work with was we there was this guy the guy who plays Mark, his name is Fazza, and in real life he's a dance choreographer, and we're like, so we get to meet all of these cool people, and from all different walks of life, and the team is so well put together, and we all pretty much talk on a daily basis.
Nice.
Of all the projects I've been on, like that's the one where I most consistently come back and like we're all trying to help out in some way, or we're trying to contribute something because we just love it. Like we just love the project so much. Um, and in the time of working on it, so chapter was it our prologue came out, which was essentially our demo, and this group had never made anything before ever, and we were able to get 100,000 downloads in the first month of it being
Whew.
released, which is really crazy if you think about it, right?
Yeah.
Like never made anything before ever, so it's like sweet. So what is it? So then after that, we ended up getting approved for a what is it? A booth at San Antonio, Texas, at
Oh,
San
cool.
Japan. And so we all went out to the convention there, had a blast, got to know each other. It felt like when we got off that plane and we met each other for the first time, it felt like we had known each other for like 10 years. And we
Oh,
had seen each other every day, and it was just a magical experience. I would definitely say Project Eden's Garden, top of my portfolio. It probably will stay there for the rest of time
no,
because
fair enough.
I
Yeah.
love the project. It's yeah, yeah, it was definitely it's definitely a cool experience, and a lot of some of my best friends are now a part of that project, and
Oh yeah,
yeah, no,
because you
I'm
auditioned
getting
for.
sentimental.
Oh, that's all good, man. Because you said that you auditioned for that a month after making your demo. Um, is that right?
Yeah, yep,
So, in saying that, would you say that Project Eden's Garden is your first like professional project? Then,
yeah, yeah, I
damn,
would say
that's a hell of a debut. Goddamn,
I know, right?
that's a,
Yeah. Oh my God, I never thought about it like that. That it is, yeah. That is my first professional project. That's huh. Thanks,
see,
man.
see, man, you're destined for greatness. You know, that's like a sign.
Oh. Uh, I don't know. It definitely like now I'm just thinking about it. I'm like, damn, like this is like, yeah, the road's wow. You're making me realize a lot. You're making me
Damn,
like
that,
it's
no worries. That's not. I don't intend to, but it just happens sometimes.
that's fair. No, but no, oh, I mean, like it definitely Eden's Garden was the thing that really that I mean, it's made a lot of other things possible. Um, and it kind of showed me what like after going to San Japan and coming back, I realized what I wanted to do as a creative and seeing fans who it's because we not only did we have a booth, we had a panel as well, a Q&A panel, and there was at least 50 people that showed up. And we're
Hell
like,
yeah.
well, like, all right, great. So, like seeing that something you work on inspires and touches so many other people's lives. There's no other feeling than that, like that can even like amount to something like that. And it's something that I had been searching for in jobs. I work at a heart lab outside of voiceover, and that's something that I take great pride in that too. Is I just love helping people, and so the like working in a heart lab and doing that every day, and then also jumping into something like Eden's Garden where it's actually having an effect on creatives, and it's making
Mm.
people want to do things, and it makes people ask questions, and it makes people curious about what they're capable of doing. That is exactly what I'm here for, you know?
Hell
So
yeah.
that
I
was San
I
Japan was a
didn't
good
I didn't know you worked at a heart lab. What I've actually never heard of a heart lab before. Do you get to
I'm gonna
work on
drop the
like
mic on that.
like do you get to like do you get to like work on hearts and stuff? I don't know what it is. I
So
like
the
I yeah.
so the joke I have what is at least I had with Eden's Garden because I was when I first got on and I told them what I do. um they were all going around the room going, oh, like, oh, I'm like going into I'm going into like a slight medical field, nothing too crazy. Another person goes, oh, like I'm going to be a linguist, oh, I'm going to be this and that, and I go, oh, I work in a heart lab, and they go, what the fuck are you doing here? And so what is it? The one of the first times I was in a call with them, I had so I'm the lead of the group that I'm a part of. So I'm like a lab assistant, but I'm also like the lead of all the other lab assistants, and we make sure that all of the other all the science people have all their stuff, and we're making sure that everything gets to them on time.
How the fuck did
Um,
you go from photography to theater to heart
Oh,
lab
oh, it's a long. That's
supervisor?
an even longer story. Actually, well, I can shorten it. So, what is it? So, I had been searching for a job for a while that had something meaningful like that, and I went into. So, I did photography. Then I did serving. Then I was doing photography on the side. Then I did. I was still at serving. Did the fertilizer company. Then I did security for a while. I did security for the Browns, the Cleveland Browns, the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Like Cleveland Brown, like Family Guy.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I've never gotten that one before. That's new. Um, and then and then a theater that's close by me. And then I thought I was trying to search for something that had like I felt like I was helping, and I was at security. I kind of hated it. It wasn't really my thing. Because I'm more of a go-getter. Like I'm not someone that wants to sit around and look at a camera all day. Like I'm like no, I need to like get out there and like do
Yeah,
something.
cause I would imagine security is you're just kind of waiting for something to happen, and then you
Yeah,
gotta
pretty much. And it's
yeah, you gotta run up to the person. maybe throw in a hook or something.
No. What is it? 80% of your year is you waiting for something to happen, and then 20% something actually happens, and it's usually not that exciting.
Oh
So
damn!
like,
It sounds
yeah,
like voiceover, except it is exciting.
yeah. Well, the voiceover definitely is the exciting one, but no,
Yeah.
no. But the security one is very like, yeah, it wasn't something that spoke to me in any way. But one of my college friends had called me up, and she was a bio major, and she was like, "Hey Dakota, I have a lab assistant position open for me. I was asked to contact people that I would want to be a lab assistant. I know you, and I suck at science. Like I'm really bad at science.
Oh,
But
me
she was
too.
like,
Me
listen,
too. Don't worry. It's all right.
right? Yeah. It's okay. We're in the arts. It's
Hell yeah.
fine. So she's like, she was like, I know you're not that big on science, but if I were to pick someone to work alongside me, I'd rather pick someone I trust that I know I can teach, rather than someone that is a wild card that I have no idea what they're gonna do. And I was
Yeah.
like, okay, great. So I accepted that offer. I've been there ever since. And yeah, that's how I got into art lab.
Ah.
As far as the Eden's Garden part, when I was telling them about it, one day I decided to get my team together, and I was like, "Hey, they think I work with like actual hearts. Let's like do something funny." And they're like, "Okay." And so I just went, "Duh, duh, duh, duh. Oh my God, I dropped one." And like they could hear me on the mic, and they go, "What?" And so everyone around me is like, "Oh my God, what did you do?" And so we created this huge scene for them. And
You motherfucker.
it was so funny. It was a great time. What is it? They
Please
were.
tell me. Please tell me you recorded that at some
Oh, I
point.
didn't. No, I should have.
Oh man.
I was at work. It was on mobile, so I couldn't just like record. Ah, I should have. Damn it. I should have. Damn it. Ah, that would have been funny. I'll think about that for future. I'll think about that for future. I'm sure someone will ask. But yeah, no.
Just a preface, by the way, Dakota drinking apple juice. So just in case the
Yeah, I'm drinking
audience,
apple juice.
just
Yes.
to make sure
Um,
the audience doesn't get the wrong idea.
this is actually apple juice. Yes. This is actually.
There's even ice cubes in it, so that's mad if it's like the other thing. But
Oh my gosh, it does totally look like the other thing, doesn't it? I'm
yeah.
so sorry.
No, it's all good. It could be a lot worse. I should make my audience is it ranges, so I gotta make sure. you know.
I thought about this before we started the stream. I was like, I'm gonna like get a drink, like something fun to drink. And and I did think to myself for a second, I was like, I wonder if anyone on Vic's stream has ever just been like, oh, I'm just gonna like drink like alcohol on this side. And now I'm like, oh shit, it looks like I'm drinking alcohol.
One of our guests I interviewed early on, she actually drank some champagne before coming on. It was actually a lot of fun. you know.
Oh shit, okay.
So
Okay,
like,
yeah.
if we ever do a re-up, I'm definitely drinking next time because goddamn, that sounds like fun. I'm not gonna lie.
Honestly, yeah, like what is it? Those types of introductions are cool. We actually oh my gosh, going back to Eden's Garden with that actually, a bunch of us who were like 21 and up, it was it was our programmer's birthday, and I was trying to come up with creative ways for all of us to get into the call and like get to know each other. So I was like, "Oh, programmer's birthday, cool. Like that's a cool reason for us all to get together." Um so I was like, all right, man, listen, I know you don't like having your birthday celebrated, but I'll tell you what, like, what if we just make it into like a movie day or something fun to do or whatever? And he's like, "Okay, okay." And I'm like, "What's your favorite movie?" And he's like, "Thomas the Tank Engine."
What?
What are you talking about?
There's a movie of Thomas the Tank
Yeah,
Engine.
so okay, so yeah, so not only is there a movie, but then I thought to myself, okay, for all of us who are 21 and up, let's do something fun. Because there were a couple of us who are pretty avid drinkers. We were like, a couple of us like beer, a couple of us like the hard stuff like whiskey and such. And so I was like, okay, what if we did a drinking game to Thomas the Tank Engine?
Oh no.
Vic, there is art of that day.
Oh god.
The drinking game was every single time that they say engine or one of the trains goes choo choo, we have to take a drink.
It's a show about trains. Of course they're
Yeah,
gonna
I
say that. Are you
know.
trying to
We were
kill? Are
not
you trying to
thinking
kill
that.
yourself, dude? What the
We
fuck?
were not thinking that through. We what is it? 10 minutes in, we were done. We were
Yeah,
done.
I was
10 minutes
gonna say.
because we kept having to pause the video because they kept going like some stupid train in the background would start going choo choo. Hello, Roddy. How are you? Choo choo. How are you doing? Choo choo. We have to go to the pharmacy. Choo choo. The train station got choo choo. And we're like,
Part of me wants to try out. Like, I saw someone do this, and it's fucking insane that they actually carried on with it. Every
oh
time they watch the Johnny Test episode, they drink every time they hear the whip cracks in the
yes,
bags.
the whip sound, right? Yeah.
I really want to do that, but I also think I'll die. So like, I'm not sure, but someday, with my if my liver gets like, I'm still not like an avid drinker yet, but we're getting there. So I think I need some more
Yeah,
experience, and then we'll
don't throw yourself into that early now, man.
no, I'm gonna wait a bit, but then we'll do it eventually. My next question to you, Dakota, is in terms of like video games and animation and all sorts of voiceover things, are there any like projects or franchises that you would like to, I don't know, like be a part of someday?
Yes. So, I personally, so one's more of a nostalgic one. Yu-Gi-Oh is something I
Mm,
really want to be a part of. That was my first anime. That was my first, was it when I was going through, well, since I was an infant till I was in like early college, I was into the game, and me and a bunch of friends played. So that one's very close to my heart. Like I'd love to be in Yu-Gi-Oh in some capacity. I have absolutely tried my best to go down that avenue, so I'm just kind of waiting and seeing what happens.
hell yeah.
Um, let's see here. Lackadaisy would be another one.
Oh, yeah.
Um, I personally, I'm gonna broaden the question a little bit because right now we're at a point that I've coined the indie animation renaissance.
Mm,
We're at a point where everyone's realizing how much that we can create inside of our own homes, and animators are starting to kind of shift the playing field in terms of what we want to see, you know?
yeah.
And Lackadaisy, in my opinion, was and like I would say Vivzy Pop was the flagship of that. Um, and I would say that Glitch is also doing really, really good on that too. And I want to be a part of Glitch as well, absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Uh, Lackadaisy specifically, I was pretty astounded by it because the budget was something like $600,000 or something like that.
Woo,
It wasn't a huge production, but if you think about it, like looking at it, it looks like a Disney film. You know
it
what I mean?
does.
Like
It does.
the fact that we have gotten to a point where an animation, I could show it to someone and they could probably go, "This is made by Disney, right?" And like it'd be a legitimate reaction. I'm like, "That's great, right?" So I think Lackadaisy, but more broadenly, I would say I want to be on that. I want to be a part of the flagship projects that are going into this renaissance that we're in.
Yeah.
Um, I want to help that as much as possible. I want to help bring that
Hell
to
yeah.
fruition.
I remember,
Um, I
I remember watching Lackadaisy when it came out, and like
mm,
it's like, oh man, so many of my friends are in it.
yeah,
but
I
also,
know, right?
but
Same.
but it's also a good show as well. And yeah, didn't they raise like over $1 million for like the season or something like that?
Yeah, I was talking to Bradley Gareth about
Yeah,
it. And I started being like, dude, like $1 million in a month, and he's like, yeah, man, hope we get it. And I'm like, dude, you're gonna get that in like a week. And he's like, what? And nah, and I'm like, dude, seriously, like think about like where we're at right now in terms of like where animation's at. People want to see indie. People are actually getting pretty sick of not seeing, the types of shows that they want to see or being like, I don't know, not of the craziest quality, I guess. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like I feel like indie has a lot more, you have a lot more collaboration with your audience and you're able to get a lot more like feedback quicker, and I think that's much better for any production. And maybe I'm biased because I'm a theater guy, but like that feedback from even just working in plays was so helpful, and it made the shows exponentially better. I can
mm,
only imagine how it does for animation, right? So when I was talking to Bradley, he's like, "Oh no, no way!" For sure, sure enough, 4 days after we had that conversation, they got the deadline. And I'm like, told you, bro. Yes. And so, what is it? Yeah, no, I'm a pretty big advocate of indie animation. I think it's good that that animators are being recognized for the hard work that they do. Because I think it's a damn shame that they weren't getting paid properly
Mm.
before, and I think it's about time they start getting paid that now. So,
Hell yeah, I do.
um,
I'm hearing of like an animation strike coming up soonish, if I'm not mistaken. So
I will
hopefully,
be on the streets with that one.
hell yeah. If
Yeah.
I will fly all the way to America and be at the picket lines and stuff.
We'll meet each other at the airport and we'll go together. How about that?
Sounds great. Let's do it. Bet. But yeah, my next question to you, Dakota, is in terms of like receiving feedback from like theater productions, because you come from a theater background, and I've had I've done theater shows where the feedback I've received has been either really positive or really critical. So,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
like in terms of like voiceover, like when I do classes and stuff, it like when I receive feedback, like it doesn't hurt. It's more like because I've been told worse, but also it's also like it actually helps me improve the craft. So like in terms of like receiving feedback and and like or like any sort of like constructive criticism, do you like have any advice for people out there who like maybe aren't used to receiving that sort of feedback or criticism to like improve? Because it can seem like once you receive like harsh criticism or feedback, it does make you feel like a little shitty. So like, but
Mhm.
like how do you personally like take those like what you the fail quote unquote failures and like turn them into like something epic, I guess.
So I actually had a really awesome opportunity in January to speak to Bryce Pinkham, which is Stolas's VA from Hell of a
Yeah.
Boss, and we were talking about courting failure. So I'm glad that I'm glad you brought that up. And it's this idea that every single time that you maybe don't do so well, or you look back on your work and go, oh man, I sucked in that, you know what I mean? Being able to recognize that opens the door to get better. So personally, I'm a huge advocate of everyone, inviting that into their life. um for in terms of voice acting for auditions, what I tell a lot of newer VAs is, I want you to do an audition at the beginning of the month, and then you're going to do it until you're like 100% this is your best, and you're going to send it off. And as soon as you send it off, I want you to immediately analyze it. And I want you to find 5 reasons or 5 ways that it could have been better. Not saying it was bad, but 5 ways it could have been better. And when you find those 5 things, I want you to take that and bring it into the next audition. I want you to repeat that
Ah.
process over and over and over again. If you do it right, and you're really constructive with yourself and you're really learning from it, the audition at the beginning of the month and the one at the end of the month should be drastically different. You should
Oh
see a
yeah.
huge improvement. That was something that I was doing in the first year of me training for it. Was if I wanted to get into this, I needed to make sure I was really critical of myself. And one of the one of the people that inspired me the most with that, and this is gonna sound really funny, but Gordon Ramsay was probably
Yeah.
the inspiration behind that. And it's because a lot of people watch shows like Hell's Kitchen and they think to themselves, oh, it's funny British man screaming at people, right? But the way that at least I interpret Hell's Kitchen is that Chef Ramsay is giving you a 101 class on standards.
Mm.
And if you're going to put something up at the hot plate, you need to make sure it's your best, and you need to make sure that you can repeat it. So that's pretty much that's pretty much the mindset I would say for failure. Court failure, learn from it, grow from it. Don't be afraid to look back and say, that was kind of bad, because that means you recognize what needs to be better about it, right?
Yeah.
So I would say always, yeah, always be willing to learn and grow. Is
Yeah.
probably the best way
That's
to
that's
take
really good.
that.
That's really good piece of advice. Thank you for sharing that. I really do appreciate that. For me, I've been doing this kind of recently actually, where if I do an audition, well, like in general, I do an audition, do all it takes stuff. But what I do is I don't send it off yet. I actually leave and like wait a couple hours then come back, listen to it again, and it was like, can I do it better? It was like, okay, maybe I can do this bit better, and then I'll send it off, and then I'll analyze it afterwards. So
Yeah.
I do a little extra step in there, but like it's really nice to hear like people have like that similar sort of process to doing those type of things. And the more you do it, like genuinely, you can take as many classes as you want, and it does help. But like the job is like auditioning, and the more you audition,
Mhm.
the better you'll get eventually. One would assume, but but you gotta like really, I wouldn't say like drag yourself down or anything, but it's more like, because usually it's never personal, because it's more like, do you have the right voice for this character, or are you doing something that's interesting enough that the casting director or someone else will cast you for that role, so it's never really a personal thing, but like it's always encouraged to like go big all the time, and
Yeah, yeah,
ad
for sure.
lib, do whatever you want, make sure like make it the character more convincing to you, and if the people fuck with the idea, they'll bring you on, so
Yeah, yeah.
that's how it
But it's
works. But yeah, speaking of Bryce Pinkman's solo, this is totally unrelated but kind of
yeah.
related. Did you end up seeing the last Hell of a Boss episode? Yeah,
Yes, yes.
what'd you think? What'd you think?
Cried.
Yeah, yeah, same, same. Oh my god,
I
the
mean,
ending.
yeah, I mean, it's an incredible show, and what is it? Yeah, I ended up when I was in when I it was in January when I met Bryce. I ended up getting to meet pretty much all the other cast members. Um, so I met Brandon Rogers. I already knew Richard. Was a Moxie's VA.
Yeah.
I met Millie. I met Luna. Yeah. And I pretty much just went up to all of them and I was just asking them questions. I started like kind of picking their brains a bit, and you can tell there was a difference between all, not to like speak bad about other actors, but there was a warmth that you felt when you walked up to them. There was an appreciation that they felt for you for giving them the time of day that I didn't really get from any of the other people that were there, which is fine. Like it's fine, like however it be. But it's clear how much they love it, like it's
Hell
clear
yeah.
how much they love what they're doing. And yeah, yeah, no, it was cool getting to speak with them and to learn about them and learn about their histories, um and then immediately after going, like this new episode comes out and I just go, man, they all did a great job.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm so happy for them. That's awesome,
Hell yeah.
So
Um,
yeah,
I I don't know if I'm ready to meet Brandon Rogers yet, because I feel like I'd break down and cry, because
really.
I've grown up with Brandon Rogers for like so long, like on YouTube and stuff. So like, and like not only has he like transitioned to like the voice acting realm really smoothly, he's also a really damn good actor as well. Like I'm a fan of like his skits, but also like some like the long form like things he makes. So I've been like watching his stuff for a while. So if I ever met him, like I don't know how to react, it'll be
Favorite
like,
video?
favorite video? Oh, okay. Bit of a classic. This one is. It's the office party one.
Oh.
you know, it's like move. I'm gay. It's like that one.
Yeah, I'm what is it? A day at the park for me, but that one's definitely
Oh
up there.
yes,
Yeah.
Day of the Park is like number two, and then Day of the Beach is number three.
Oh, day at the beach. I wasn't thinking about that one. Ooh.
Like the way he like he brings all the
Yeah.
characters to like his past skits in like one video, like it's genuinely very impressive. Like Day of the Park is almost 10 years old. That's terrifying, but yeah,
Yeah, which I mean, wow, like his humor just it never gets stale and I love it. Like I can
yeah,
always go back to Day at the Park and go, this is hilarious. Like
yeah.
this is super funny. Yeah.
His humor kind of reminds me of like Sacha Baron Cohen's a little bit, where it's like it's kind of shock but like out there, but the writing for like him specifically, the writing for like his characters, like every character has like their own specific sort of lore. And then if you watch like further videos, it actually all connects and it's actually really fucking good,
Mhm, mhm.
So like it's not just for the skits, like they actually have like a built-in lore and shit. And every
Yeah, it's
character is
the
different.
Rogerverse.
Yeah, the Rogers version, every character is different, which is very impressive. So I'm glad that they have him on for Blitz, because Blitz,
Mhm.
like I don't see Blitz played by anybody else. I think Brandon just catches him perfectly.
Yeah, I remember watching the pilot when it first came out, and when his voice came on screen, I was like, who? I know that voice. I know who that is. And I looked it up and I'm like, there's no way it's this guy. Like this is so like out of left field for everything he does. And then after seeing the first episode, I go, he's perfect. Like he's literally the best person for this character. There's no other person that could portray this person, portray him. And I feel that with pretty much everyone on their cast, where it's
Mm.
like, yeah, I think Vivian Madrano killed it in terms of yeah, casting everybody. Like
One
it's
one of one of my mates was telling me that Busy Pop is like animated Brandon Rogers. You know what? I
I see it.
understand. I see
I
it.
see
I
that.
see it.
Yeah.
Like, because like knowing like the context like Brandon skits and Viv's the use of swearing a lot. You know, it definitely goes hand in hand. So I'm like, you know what? That
Yeah.
actually makes sense. I'm not mad at that at all.
Yeah, no, and I think that definitely helped. Like the writing styles really come together, and with Brandon also being a writer on the show.
Mm.
Um,
Oh, I did not know he writes.
oh
He
yeah,
wrote. Okay, that makes sense. That makes a lot
Mhm.
of sense. Hell
What
yeah.
is it? Him, Richard Horvitz, and Vivian all do the writing.
Oh, that's cool.
What is it specifically? I believe Brandon and Richard are in charge of all the comedic stuff.
Mm.
Like
Man,
they're in charge of a lot of the jokes.
that makes sense. I'm glad Richard Horvitz is here, man. Like if you were to tell me that Billy from Billy and Mandy is on an indie show, like man,
Yeah, and
that'd
I
be
mean,
insane.
I'm gonna take a second, just a quick appreciation thing. Like Richard Horvitz is like what a great guy. I don't know if you've ever had the chance of meeting him before.
No, but I really want to take one of his classes someday.
Yeah, he what is it? He's one of my coaches, and he that's like life changing, man. Like
Mm.
you should seriously consider it. He has a very different perspective on life, but something that I think everyone needs. Like
Yeah,
everyone needs a little bit of what he has to offer. Very live in the moment, be your inner child, always feel like you're on the playground sort of person. Like very like he's just a fun guy. He's just a really fun guy, really wise and very sweet. So yeah, there's my call out to Richard.
hell
Amazing,
yeah.
amazing coach, amazing
I need to
left up.
I need to do some coaching with them. I really do. I've been meaning to for a long time. And voice actors, if you're watching this, please join me. You know, it'd be epic.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if he's doing a class soon. I know he's been doing a lot more coaching recently. So if you
Yeah.
reach out to him, yeah, if you reach out on his website, you should be able to get a hold of him.
Yeah, should be all good. If it's like one-on-one coaching, that might be a bit easier to organize actually. But yeah,
Yeah,
hell yeah. Thanks for that, by the way.
of course.
My next question to you, Dakota, is you mentioned before we started recording about the Futurama lore. So
Uh, I was thinking about that when I mentioned. I was like, damn, I probably should have kept that for the podcast, huh? For the
nah,
interview,
man,
huh?
no, bring it up, man. I was like, Dr. Farnsworth, huh?
So, if I remember correctly, in our family tree, my second great uncle is Philo T. Farnsworth. If I remember, I like he's in our family tree. I just don't. I'm trying to remember the position. So our second great uncle is Philo T. Farnsworth, and my brother calls me up one day and he goes, "Hey, I'm watching Futurama. You need to come over to my place right now." And I was like, "Okay." And so I come over to his house, and he go and I come over to his house, and he's showing Futurama, and there's an episode about Fry's family tree, and Philo T. Farnsworth is on the family tree, which means canonically I'm related to Fry and Hubert Farnsworth, and I'm just like that's fucking cool. Like I'm just like that's really cool. And then on top of that, I work in a heart lab, right? So there's that. And then my full name is Dakota Ryan Farnsworth, and so shortening that, it's Dr. Farnsworth. Like I'm just like I can't make this shit up. Like it's too good.
I haven't seen a lot of Futurama. I've seen a little bit here and there. I know it ended a while ago, but then it's coming back or something like that. I don't remember.
I don't
Um,
know. I was hearing about that. I'm not too sure on that though.
yeah, I
I
was gonna.
definitely I definitely have to watch the original series still. I need to catch up on all that.
Yeah, it's like The Simpsons. Well, like I kind of gave up on catching up with The Simpsons, but like I know I've watched a decent amount of like the older stuff. Where it's like, you know what, I'm pretty content because like the newer stuff, it's all right. I'm just there for like the cameos nowadays. Um, and also
Mm.
just I mean like I mean this in the most respectful way possible, but like I hope the voice actors get to retire at some point. I don't know how long their
Yeah.
contract lasts, but like goddamn, like I hear Marge's English voice get like more silent each episode. I'm like, dude, give her voice a break, please, please, Julie Kepner, please.
Yeah, what is it? It kind of feels like oh, what are those like what is it? The Hallmark TV shows, the ones that
Mm,
that last for like 1,000 episodes or like two,
yeah,
3,000 episodes or something like that. Like those are insane.
yeah.
What is it? You basically grow up on the show and then you like live throughout the show and then you die on the show and it's like
It's very
what?
much, very much. You
Yeah.
you grow up, but the characters don't age. Like Bart, Lisa, Maggie. Like Maggie hasn't aged, So it's like, and
Yeah.
she hasn't even spoken yet. I don't think she's spoken yet. Like canonically, I don't know. Maybe she has. I don't
I
know.
mean that it makes the voice acting side of that pretty easy, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah, true. Unless they actually have to pay someone to get to like do the suction cups on the pacifier, I guess.
Interesting if they had to get a different actor for that. Well, a different voice line for that every time.
Yeah, different like do a different baby each time for each episode.
Yeah, yeah. If you just look on behind the voice actors, there's like 50 different people that have played the baby.
Yeah, it's like how with like South Park for most of the kid
Oh my
characters like
God.
Trey and Matt just had like their children do it, like actually go
Mm,
out there and say it.
I love South Park so much.
I haven't seen the new episode. It's like I haven't seen it. It's like the skinny one, right? Something like
I'm
that.
I I'm kind of so I'm a little behind on the last two seasons. So back to the security thing. In security, it was like dead all the time, and so we had this one TV up here that always showed South Park, and I don't know why, I don't know what channel we were on, but it was on all day, and so we just watched South Park all day, and it was
See,
fun.
see, when you mentioned security before, I was like, oh man, you have to wait a long time. But if I'm waiting and getting paid to watch South Park, I'd be pretty happy. I'm not gonna lie, dude.
Yeah, it's more of a like it's fun for a bit, but then when I sit there and I go, what am I accomplishing? That's what
Yeah,
that
that's
gets
fair
that
enough.
fire in my stomach, you know?
Yeah.
Because I always want to be doing something, like at least a little bit. Like even on my off days at times where I tell myself, all right, I'm gonna step back from voiceover, I'm just gonna like enjoy myself, I'm gonna step back from lab work, I'm gonna turn off my phone, I'm gonna turn off everything and just like enjoy the present. I usually still go, but I'll just send like a quick email real quick. Like I get something, like I try to get something done
Nah, that's
throughout.
fair. Like, but I do appreciate you actually taking time to take a step back, and knowing when to, because some people, even myself, like I had a situation where like I found it really hard to like step back and relax, and it made me more bitter. So I stepped back for like a month, and I came back around May. Um, oh man, it's so good. Take breaks, please, people. Please do not burn out. Take breaks, relax, do
Yeah,
anything. Read a book, ride a bike, run. I don't know, just to take a break and then come back. Like there's nothing. The work's not going anywhere, so your mental health comes first. You know.
what is it? That was a pretty big. I mean, like I wouldn't say I'm like a master of it. Like I know when to step back, but then the workaholic side of me takes over at times.
Yeah.
I'm sure you felt that too.
Yeah,
Um,
it's from my mom. Blame my mom for that.
was
She's
I was watching some of the other episodes. Your parents are doctors, right?
yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, yeah. Both of them are.
I
Yeah,
told you I was gonna watch them.
yeah, sure. Yeah, both my parents are doctors. My dad's the more relaxed one. My mom works when she gets back home, cooks, then goes back to work again. It's insane. She's still really positive. She does a lot of other things. She goes to the gym, does Zumba. It's insane.
Wow.
Yeah, she's like you
Go
cannot.
mom.
Yeah,
Go
you
mom.
can. She's like in her 50s. You cannot outwork her. I swear to God.
Have you asked her about that? Like, how does she keep so like up on everything when she's
I
working?
have, I have, yeah. She's just like she's just really relaxed about it. She's like, I just want to do as many things as I want, really. So like, the more I do more things that I like doing, it keeps me happy, because she also does like
Yeah,
sing. She's been picking up singing classes again, So I'm happy she's like doing the stuff that she's wanted to do for a while. But like, she's also been a doctor for like over 2 decades by now. So it's like, what else is there out there, So
for
it's like,
sure. Man, your mom's a badass.
yeah, she is. I love her very much. But
No, that's a
yeah,
great mentality to have, yeah.
yeah, it is. It's something I want to keep working on. Um, but because I've only been alive for like 2 decades, so like I still gotta still got a lot more to figure out, you know. But my next question to you, Dakota, is
Sure.
do you have any piece of advice for any voice actors that are starting out or within their journey at the moment?
Hmm. Never stop learning.
Hmm.
Because the minute you stop learning and you tell yourself you're good enough where you are, like there's nothing wrong with being content with where you're at, but if you want to get into a field that's constantly evolving, and especially something like art that's very subjective, it's very very subjective of what is good and what's bad. Like, um, I would say if you really want to get into this, always stay on your A game. Always make sure that you're practicing. Always find a new creative way to get more experience with it because I've met a couple of voice actors who and like and then luckily we went after talking to them they really kind of get out of this, but they were like, oh, I've done a class, so I don't need to like practice at all. I can just send my demo reel everywhere. And I'm like, that's not how that works, man. Like, but like there's people who actually have that mentality of like okay, I've done like the bare minimum, so I'm just gonna get it all now. Like, no, like that's not no, no,
Nah,
no, no, no.
nah.
Which I mean, like, not to throw anyone under the bus, it's just sort of like, you have to understand this, like if you want like anything you want in your life, you gotta work for it. You gotta really work for it.
Ain't that the
Um,
truth?
and there was a buddy of mine his big thing is he's always wanted to be in JoJo, not just any JoJo. He wants to be a JoJo, like an
Ooh,
actual, like one of the main characters.
fair
And I was
enough.
like, I was like, okay, cool. Like, what are you doing to get that? And he's like, oh, I audition like once a week. And I'm like, no, like no, like no, no. So when I had a conversation, a pretty big heart to heart, I was like, listen, you want to play a JoJo, right? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, how many other people out there want to play a JoJo? And he's like, probably a lot. And I'm like, okay, how many people are working harder at that than you? Like, how many people are bringing more to the table for that than you? Like, how many people are putting through the blood, sweat, and tears to get this thing? And how many people are doing that when you're not? And he's like, probably all of them. And I'm like, yeah, like you got like if you want it, you need to show it. And some director out there, if you're putting in all that work, they're gonna see it. And I think that was the case for Kira Buckland. Was Kira Buckland shouted to the stars, "I'm gonna be in JoJo," and then look where she is now, right? Like
Yeah, she
I
started.
like
I actually spoke to them a bit ago. This is when they were helping me make my demo. At the time, this was like 2 years ago. They started out on part three, and then they did like then they were Raimi in part four. Then there were a random kid on the plane talking to Doppio in part five, and then Jolene. So
yeah, right. So like what is it? Right. So clearly Kira had been doing something for quite a while to work towards this thing, like didn't just sit around and just expect it to happen, right? So I would definitely say never stop learning. You got to work for it. If you want
yeah,
anything in your life, you got to put the work into it. You have to learn, you have to challenge yourself, um, get perspectives from people that are, let's say you go for an audition and you don't get the part, right? Someone else gets the part. A lot of people tend to look at that and go, damn, like, I'm jealous that they got the part. Personally, the way I see it is, well, great. Now I have someone I can go ask and be like, hey, like what is your advice on portraying characters? Like da 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 da. And that's a new perspective I can put in my belt, right?
yeah.
And I don't think a lot of people think about stuff like that, or at least newer VAs. So yeah, always get perspective, always learn, always challenge yourself. Um, yeah, and just have fun,
Hell yeah.
just have a good
Have
time.
fun, everybody. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
have fun, everybody. What's up? By the way, this looks like beer now.
It
This
does.
looks
It does. I've
like
been.
I was drinking this and I was like, oh man, this doesn't look like apple juice. This looks straight up like I'm drinking Michelob.
I mean, it's
But-
it's. I mean, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. So like
ah,
wherever.
you're so right.
It,
Actually, it's 7 o'clock here. So.
wait, like PM?
Yep.
Why is it so sunny? Oh my god.
I know. I listen. I gotta be honest. Daylight savings did us great today.
It
So,
gets in New Zealand like it gets like nighttime dark like 5 p.m. You know, so this is just insane.
yeah.
God damn. I was like, I thought it was like morning or something because it's morning
No,
for me.
no. What is it? Like I started noticing the past couple of days that it's been sunny at like even like 9 p.m. It's still like sunny outside, and I'm like,
Shit,
it's
damn.
great. This is great.
Oh, must be nice. Getting all that
But
sun.
yeah, no.
It's winter right now. I think it's summer over there at the moment, right?
Yes. Yeah, we're in June right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wait, duh, the calendar's the same everywhere. But it's
It's
yeah,
just
no.
just a
We're at the beginning of summer.
hemisphere thing, you know? Just like
Yeah, for sure. We're at the beginning of summer, so like the
yeah.
first month of summer.
Hell
Well,
yeah.
second month technically. We'll get to that later. Yeah.
Oh yeah. But
But
yeah.
yeah, no, I would say yeah, no, always be learning, always challenge yourself, because yeah, I mean, and that's the same with any business, like any business at all. And again, going back to Gordon Ramsay, something he talked about with cooking was that like in London, what they would do inside of kitchens is they would see the new people come in and they would work like 16-hour days
Mm.
and then go to bed, come back in the morning and start working another 16-hour day again. And it's because they wanted it, they really, really wanted it. And the new people that would join, they would take bets on who would be there the
Oh.
next morning because it's so hard to get yourself in those mindsets. And it's so hard to tell yourself how much you want it and to push yourself. And so I think that should be something that is applied to every industry. I think that if you want anything in your life, you should always be willing to put in 110%.
Hell
So,
yeah. Always, man. And with that awesome and amazing, positive, and very impactful note, this interview comes to a close. Dakota,
oh,
thank you
oh,
so much for being an amazing guest. You've
thank
been
you.
absolutely
Thank you for having
lovely.
me.
No, no worries, man. Absolutely insightful to have you on. Definitely learned a lot. Like for real, I'm gonna be taking a lot of these notes, especially when I'm editing. You know, so thank you again. This has been really amazing.
Of
Um,
course. Yeah.
do you have any voice actors you want to see in the OverVoice hot seat next?
Yes. So, um, you said two, and I'm like, I kind of want to do three. Is that
Go for
okay?
it. Go for it. You can do
Yeah.
more than that
Okay.
if you want.
Okay. One is Deshaun Ricks.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Deshaun, love the guy. Totally, totally want to see him get super far. Second person would be Sabrina Twyla.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
Um, and the last person would be Vixena, which Vixena is
Oh,
the director of Neon Ignition.
oh, yes. I love all three of them. I've spoken to the show a lot recently, so I'm sure we'll have him on at some point. You know, we'll see.
Hell yeah, hell yeah.
Um,
I would love to see like he's done like Canvas Rebel, but I'd love
mm,
to see Sean in a video interview setting. I'd love to see what that's like.
I literally just did a Canvas Rebel interview like a few weeks ago. So that's
Oh yeah.
funny you mentioned that.
I think I actually have an email right now of them of them wanting me to do another article with them. So,
Hell yeah,
you
do
know,
it. Why not?
yeah, no, I'm definitely going to. What is it? I've just been running around like crazy, but I'll make sure I get to it.
Hell yeah. And yeah, are there any social medias where people can find you? I can put it on the description when when the interview comes out.
Yeah. What is it? You can find me on Twitter. I have a Twitter and Instagram, and both of those are so for Instagram it's Tarquin TARQUIN underscore IRUSA, so Tarquin Arusa, VA, and then for Instagram it's just Tarquin Arusa.
Oh yeah. Oh that's you. That's right. That is you. Because like when I see
Yeah.
people, when I see it, I was like, who the fuck is this guy? It's like, oh, it's Dakota. It's like,
Yeah, Tarquin is a nickname that I had for quite a while. I can't lie, the last name Arusa, that one is you ever played Brawlhalla?
I have played Brawlhalla.
Okay, so I was like, oh, what's like a cool online like stage name or something I can use? And so Tarquin was already a nickname I had used, and then Arusa is just Asuri backwards because I was an Asuri main.
Oh yeah. Okay, that makes so much sense.
Yeah, no, no, definitely.
I need to
I'm a massive nerd.
I need to get back to Brawlhalla. The last time I saw from Brawlhalla was I think when they added like Poe from Kung Fu Panda in it or something
Oh
like
my
that.
gosh, they have added so much. They added Master Chief and Arbiter.
What? Huh?
not too long
I
ago.
didn't know Master
Yeah,
Chief was. Wow. Okay.
yeah, that was a pretty recent one. I was like, huh?
All right. Looks like I'll go back to play it then. Well, but yeah. Thank you so much again, Dakota, for coming on. You've been an amazing guest. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. And see you for the next interview. Bye bye, everybody. I hit the
Talk to you
mic.
later.